Zay, we've got a pretty good storm headed this way, so we're inside. Um, got this new knife from Condor. It's called the Two River Skinner. And, I don't go into the specifics of a knife because if you want to buy a production knife, I suggest you, study and research what that knife is before you buy it. So, and when I look at videos about a knife before I purchase it, um, yes, I do listen to some of the statistics, but I mean, after a while, it just gets pretty old to hear the same statistics over and over and over again. So, what I try to practice and also look for in videos is the just a little bit about the knife and what you as a consumer and or uh, person who um, appreciates blades, how you feel about the knife. So here we go with a quickie. First, I've heard it said, and I agree with it. I don't like the case. I don't like the sheath. There's something about the way this knife fits into this sheath. You really have to work it. No, it's not going to come out. The problem is getting it in. I think I would have preferred just a regular sheath that like comes with the bush lore and stuff. Beautiful sheath. I mean, for those of you who don't know about Condor, they are known for their wonderful uh, looking leather sheaths, and it is. But look, see when you're putting it in, it hits this thing here, and you really have to push it to get it in. Now, in time, this is going to be fine. In time, this will push its way out and stretch a little bit, and it'll be okay. But for now, it's a wicked taskmaster. Pretty Condor label or stamp there. So I like the sheath in terms of the leather and the quality of it and everything, but it just kind of sucks for that. It'll get wore out soon enough, but okay. And I am going to talk about my dislikes here first. Another dislike, right here, where they've cut this out, and you can tell this is a full tang knife, and you can tell, it's got a swedge here. I don't know if you can see this. Try to get it so you can see, but the blade angles and the grinds and all that stuff. You can see right here where they've kind of cut this out so that you can, they could drill a hole in it and have you a little place for a lanyard. Which, with a knife this size, you don't really need a lanyard. A lanyard is kind of, a security safety thing you can put on your wrist for when you're chopping or something, so you don't drop it. I guess some people might use it on a larger knife, but on a knife this size, you really don't need a lanyard. I mean, you don't have lanyards on your kitchen knives, do you? You probably do. Some of you probably do. See this recurve in the blade here? I don't mind that. I kind of like it. A little harder to sharpen them, but like it. Look at all of the pins in this. Oh, I was telling you about this. So what this does, though, is I'm going to have to sand these down a little bit because they are aggressive to my palm. they they don't hurt, but they're just kind of an aggravation. Another thing I do not like about this, if you can see right here, a little swell there in the edge. Now this is cut paper, I believe. I think I've tried it. I did, and I use paper cutting just as a not very well, just as a standard by which I can say, hey, this knife is this sharp. you can tell it's, you know, it's sharp, but it's not crazy sharp. I'm mostly tearing instead of cutting, and that's how you can tell. I can, you know, I can get a little cut in there. I think it's mostly on the, I think I'm slicing when I get up on the edge here. So yeah, see, that's a slice. See the difference? All right, you can see it better from this side, I think. You can feel it too when you're cutting. So I kind of have sharpened this thing. This is pretty much it. This is out of the box. I've not done anything to it at all. In fact, I did put a little beeswax on the handle and kind of rub it in, because Condor knives, a lot of times they'll come pretty dry. So you know, I put a little of that on it, and a little of this. Little of this. So did that to the, but that's all I did. I didn't sharpen it. I didn't, you know, do anything else. And when you get right here, there is a very small bump. And that bump does not seem like a big deal. It's like a steel blister, like a steel. You can see it, I think. I know I can see it with a magnifying glass, but I can definitely feel it. And so when you're running your blade across it, it you know, gets snagged up on that. It's a good feeling knife. It's not what I would call a survivor knife, though any knife in a pinch is going to be a survivor knife. I like the shape of the blade. That's why I got it. There wasn't a lot on YouTube about, I think it was like 1 or 2 reviews of this knife. The steel is something that I'm not sure of, and that I am going to test. It is a 420 HC, which is the same steel used by Buck on many of their knives. So this is Condor's 420 HC, and I'll have to really try it to see what I think. So I'm gonna have to try to mess it up and stuff. This wasn't an expensive knife. It was like $30, I think. So I like the knife. I like the style of it. It feels good in the hand. You know, good little camp knife probably. Designed for, you know, skinning and/or, you know, little game type work. Well, that's my review. If you want to know more about this, you can easily Google it and find out more. But that's pretty much where I'm at. Condor knives, I have a lot of Condor knives. I appreciate Condor knives. I love Condor knives. They're an inexpensive, relatively inexpensive knife producer, and they have some really great designs. They've been around a long time. They are supposedly paying more attention to their quality control, though, you know, that kind of makes me wonder there. But that's nothing I can't work out. It just means I have to regrind the blade. You know, sharpen it out and regrind that off. When you have a nick or a bubble in your blade, sometimes when you have a bubble, you can just, you know, get the bubble off and just kind of sharpen it back in. When you have a nick in your blade, you have to remove all the steel on either side of it. Anytime you have to remove steel, you're taking age or life off your knife. So a lot of times, for example, you don't have to really sharpen your knife on a stone or anything. You can just strop it with normal use. So pretty much my take. I may do another review on this after I you know, run it through some little chores and stuff. See how it does. This is kind of sharp too, just to add before I stop here. This thing right here on the choil, which is wood, but it's got that steel in there. It's kind of sharp too. Okay, guys, gang, thanks.